In government, Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis once counseled, deliberative forces should prevail. More plainly put, the wheels of government can turn slowly, sometimes awfully slowly. That's often frustrating to citizens, and in fact, it can be frustrating to public servants as well. But perhaps that's necessary. After all, the decisions made by the San Angelo City Council today typically impacts tens of thousands of lives for years to come. They can also result in the spending of millions of tax dollars. As such, those decisions should be approached, as Justice Brandeis noted, deliberately and thoughtfully. For the past 3 years, that's exactly what the City Council and City of San Angelo staff have been doing, laying the foundation for important work that is finally and tangibly taking shape. In the coming year, San Angelo will see its water infrastructure fortified. The reconstruction of 2 of our most compromised streets will begin. A new police station may start to take shape. The push to make pay more competitive for our public servants will continue, and development processes will be further streamlined. In 2014, the City Council adopted as top priorities those 5 issues: water, streets, a police station, employee pay, and development services. In the 3 years since, the Council's focus has not wavered from those issues. A course has been charted that has led to incremental progress on each front. Groundwork has been laid. In 2017, San Angelo will see the wheels of progress gaining speed and spinning ever faster.
Quite pleased with the progress that we've made on all 5 of those priorities. The City Council has been rock steady in ensuring that we make progress, and so far so good.
That's not to say progress, significant progress, hasn't already been made across San Angelo city government. It has. The terminal renovation at San Angelo Regional Airport took flight last fall. The $6 million project represented the first significant upgrade to the terminal since it was built more than 50 years ago. The animal shelter is on a run of 6 straight months without putting down any adoptable animals. The shelter's partnership with local rescue groups has never been stronger. As a result, pet adoptions are up. The facility earned the highest marks possible during a state inspection. And a newly added veterinarian is performing spay-neuter procedures more quickly and more cost-effectively than ever before. Since its completion in the spring, the Red Arroyo Trail has seen a steady stream of traffic in the form of walkers, runners, bikers, skaters, baby strollers, and leashed pets. In fact, the city hosted its first City Fit 5K on the path, which is now adorned with pieces of public artwork. Voters approved a series of changes to the city charter in November. Among them are 4-year terms for city council members. The longer terms will give greater continuity to the city's governing body. It will also reduce the need to hold an election every year. In turn, that will result in significant savings for taxpayers. Voters also decided during the charter election to limit council service to 8 consecutive years, ensuring an injection of fresh ideas and perspectives. Earlier this year, voters elected 3 new members of the City Council. Bill Richardson is serving in the District 1 seat, Harry Thomas in District 3, and Lane Carter in District 5. Voters also elected San Angelo Police Department veteran Frank Carter to serve as police chief for the next 4 years. Great additions have been made to the Bosque Games Court area along the Concho Riverwalk. Visitors are enjoying the new 18-hole putt-putt golf course and concessions building, both of which were funded by half-cent sales tax dollars. Fairmount Cemetery now offers a columbarium for ashen remains. This addition fills a growing and needed market niche for Fairmount. In the coming year, San Angelo firefighters will have a modern-day training facility that will adequately prepare them for the rigors of fighting fires and saving lives. A new fire station is also on the drawing board. The City Council passed an ordinance that improves public safety by prohibiting drivers from texting while behind the wheel. The city's business and industrial park became the first such property in the state to earn a super park designation from AEP Texas. The City of San Angelo Development Corporation and Angelo State Small Business Development Center resurrected a business plan competition. The winner, Odom RD Dietitians Consultants, won the top prize of $15,000 in cash plus in-kind support and services. 2 city employees, Human Resources Assistant Director Veronica Sanchez and Fort Concho History Curator Corey Robinson, were among the rising stars honored by the Standard Times as part of its 20 Under 40 Young Leaders program. The Finance Department again won national recognition for its excellence in producing a budget book and a comprehensive annual financial report. For the first time ever, The Finance Department earned Platinum status, the highest level possible, in the State Comptroller's Leadership Circle for Financial Transparency. This has been a banner year for our Public Information Office. It won 6 statewide awards from peer groups and 2 gold awards from the American Advertising Federation, including a Best of Show for a video titled, "This Place Matters." Public Information also launched a snazzier smartphone version of the city's website, completed the coffee table book about what makes San Angelo surprising, and ushered SATV, our government access TV channel, into the age of high definition. The renovation of City Auditorium is scheduled to be complete in the spring. Following the $11.4 million project, the 1928 auditorium will boast 21st century technology, more production space, and roomier seating while maintaining its historic luster and charm. The City of San Angelo contributed a record $112,000 to the United Way of the Concho Valley. Our Communities United Way campaign was led by Public Information Officer Anthony Wilson. Civic Events Manager Sydney Walker has succeeded him in the role as the United Way's top volunteer this year. The City of San Angelo takes tremendous pride in all of these achievements, but our eyes are fixed firmly on the future, on how we can better serve our neighbors, and on the 5 key priorities adopted by the City Council. Chief among those is water. Amazingly, through August, San Angelo had received more than 25 inches of rain. That's more than San Angelo's average annual rainfall. However, all of that rain has not replenished our lakes. With the exception of Nasworthy, which is a small lake, none of our reservoirs are more than 22% full. That's why the Water Advisory Board and the City Council have been studying options for supplementing San Angelo's water supply. Both bodies decided, largely because of cost, to move to the back burner the option of developing a plant to treat wastewater back to drinking standards. Attention is now settled onto fully developing the Hickory Aquifer to deliver nearly 12 million gallons per day. That would involve increasing the capacity of our groundwater treatment plant by 4 million gallons per day and adding more wells in McCullough County. There remains a possibility the city could release its treated wastewater downstream, allowing nature to continue to cleanse it before it's returned to us via a pipeline. At the same time, the city could reinvest in the water treatment plant, bringing it up to modern standards with an eye toward the day San Angelo may want to reuse its treated wastewater directly.
Direct potable reuse is a viable option for the future. So anything that we do today needs to be put in place to accommodate that in the future.
When it revamped water rates late last year, the City Council took a big step toward being able to finance the next water supply project and to more aggressively improve water infrastructure. The Council adopted a 5-year phased approach to gradually raising water rates. The aim was and remains threefold. First, the Water Utilities Department had to be returned to financial sustainability. Second, more revenue was needed to replace aging infrastructure, including cast iron water mains that are prone to breaks. Third, the city must have the ability to finance its next water supply project. The record drought in which we're mired has wreaked havoc on the Water Utilities Department. The Water Department supports its operations and improvement of its infrastructure not with tax dollars, but with revenue generated through the sale of water. Guided by drought restrictions and good conscience, San Angelo citizens have embraced water conservation and used less water in recent years. In turn, that's dramatically reduced revenue to the Water Utilities Department. The Water Department's fund balance is the portion of unspent revenues from prior years. The City Council set a goal for fund balances that they should equate to 75 days of operating expense. For water utilities, that equals $4.8 million. Prior to the new rates taking effect in January, the fund balance had dipped into red ink with a negative balance. That's because many of the costs of a water utility, which is a 24/7 operation, are fixed. When revenue failed to support those operational costs, the utility was forced to continually dip into its fund balance. Higher water rates were needed to ensure the utility is returned to financial sustainability. Thus far, the plan is working. As of August, the water fund balance was just over $1 million, still well short of the $4.8 million goal, but steadily progressing. San Angelo's past frugality is having a present-day impact on our water infrastructure. Of the 800 miles of city-owned water mains in the city limits, about 40% need replacing. The city budgets about $3 million each year to replace water mains. At best, that funds only about 10,000 feet, or less than 2 miles. The infrastructure needs extend to the wastewater and water treatment plants. Parts of the water treatment facility are nearing 100 years old. As mentioned earlier, the chase for more water continues. Whatever the solution, the cost will be great. Consider that fully developing the Hickory Aquifer will end up costing more than $150 million. The estimated cost of developing a direct potable reuse project is $136 million. Whatever water project San Angelo pursues, the city must have the financial capacity to bring it to term. If water is priority 1, streets are 1A. Yes, we're aware that Bell Street needs to be fixed, along with 29th Street and MLK and Glenna and Southwest and a lot of other city streets. That's why the City Council in January adopted a 10-year plan to issue $80 million in debt to rebuild San Angelo's worst streets. As debt is retired, every other year the city will issue $16 million in new debt to pay for the projects. Thus, streets will be improved without having to raise the property tax rate, which for the 4th straight year will remain at 77.6 cents. Construction begins this fall on MLK Drive. Rebuilding MLK from Loop 306 to 29th Street will take about a year and a half. The first of 3 phases to rebuild Bell Street begins in the spring and will take more than a year. 2 streets will undergo mill and overlay. That's a process in which a roadway's asphalt is ground away and the surface replaced. TxDOT smoothed Knickerbocker Road last year using mill and overlay. South College Hills will be resurfaced from the Loop to Valley View in the coming months. North and South Chadbourne streets will get the same treatment beginning this winter.
Streets are very costly to repair, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but we've got a plan, we're started, and we're moving forward.
This past summer, the city spent $3.6 million seal coating streets. That marked a $400,000 increase over the prior year. Seal coating is a preventative measure. It involves applying a thin layer of asphalt and rock to a street surface. That keeps moisture from seeping into the asphalt and damaging the base. The process extends the life of a street surface, saving taxpayers the expense of rebuilding a roadway. Streets were seal coated in 4 neighborhoods: the area northwest of the Loop, from the Houston Hart Expressway to the Concho River, in the trails in neighboring Capitol Heights, and in Bentwood. This year's maintenance represented the 2nd year in an 8-year cycle to seal coat every city-maintained roadway in San Angelo. The need to replace the San Angelo Police Department's current station moved up the list of City Council priorities this year from 5th to 3rd. The city has under contract to purchase the First Financial Bank facility at 301 West Beauregard Avenue. After years of exploring potential sites, the bank property was targeted because of its size and its central location. The city will formally take possession of the property once the bank has completed construction of its new facility later this year. Current SAPD headquarters at 401 East Beauregard were built more than 50 years ago. The facility has been unable to accommodate the growth of our police force, the demands of modern-day policing, or 21st century technology. All involved, including new Police Chief Frank Carter, agree the current station is an ill fit. A consultant who specializes in designing police stations has calculated that retrofitting the bank property to meet the police department's current and projected needs would cost approximately $40 million. Funding the project will likely require a bond issue. That is, voters will determine whether to raise their property taxes to pay for a new police headquarters. That vote is anticipated to occur in 2017.
The thing is falling down around our men. We need a police station, but it's going to have to be something reasonable, and it's going to have to be something that our citizens can afford.
Of the City Council's 5 priorities, the only one in which we won't see progress in the coming year is employee pay. That's owing to a difficult economy after 2 years of strong growth. Sales tax collections in the fiscal year that ended September 30th fell short by more than $2 million under what was budgeted. The city budgets its revenues conservatively. As a result, sales tax collections in the coming year have been budgeted at approximately the same level as this past year's collections.
It's important to note that this situation is not unique to San Angelo, seeing this shortfall in sales tax revenue. A lot of our sister cities, Midland, Odessa, Wichita Falls, are all having to adjust their budgets as well.
Property values inched up about 3% this year, not enough to completely offset the decline in sales tax collections. After budgeting expenses flat in the coming year to ensure service levels are maintained, approximately $323,000 remained that were not allocated. By comparison, the cost of previously negotiated pay raises for police officers is more than $636,000. In short, funds were not available to make meaningful progress in employee pay. Strides in paying competitive salaries were made the past 2 years. Non-civil servants received raises of 5% in 2014 and 5.1% in 2015. Police officers and firefighters received raises of 6.26% last year, after receiving substantial raises in 2014 based upon rank and longevity. The City Council has expressed its disappointment that raises could not be afforded this year, while voicing its determination to close the pay gap between San Angelo and its 13 benchmark cities moving forward.
95% is a great goal for us to have, and I think if we can achieve that over the next few years, we'll be setting our scales at a very competitive wage.
One of the keys to growth in our community is ensuring our processes for developing new properties and buildings not only protects the public, but is efficient for developers. Strides have certainly been made in streamlining those processes to ensure that's the case.
We're wanting to make that process as streamlined and efficient as possible. I think there's the recognition that those processes are necessary. There's a reason we don't just get rid of them. That would make everything much quicker. But we need those processes, but we don't want to be holding up people or delaying them unnecessarily.
In 2014, the city's Planning and Development Services Department surveyed best practices in the planning profession, inventoried all of its existing processes, and targeted issues and concerns based largely on customer input. As a result, a one-stop shop approach for development was adopted. Today, developers may make an online request for staff consultations and reviews of their proposed projects before submitting any paperwork. This ensures developers have all the necessary information from the outset of their projects. Standardized approaches to submittal requirements, review processes, and inspections were also adopted. A customer service survey in 2015 revealed that 90% of respondents found city staff to be professional, responsive, and solution-oriented. 100% said the pre-application meetings were helpful. The numbers bear out the success. The time to review commercial development plans that required no revisions was reduced from 25 days in the first half of 2015 to 15 days in the second half. For commercial plans that required revisions, the average review was shortened from 60 days to 35 days. By year's end, Planning and Development Services will be conducting beta testing on software that will allow all building plans to be submitted electronically. This will negate the need for developers and contractors to submit massive rolls of paper plans and will streamline processes by eliminating the need to convert those paper plans into an electronic form. Planning and Development Services Director John James is also planning a review and rewrite of ordinances related to development in the coming year. James said the goal is twofold. One, to ensure city regulations mirror the goals of adopted plans, such as the Comprehensive Land Use Plan. And two, to more clearly define the steps developers must follow. As an example, there are few guidelines in the Code of Ordinances regarding landscaping and sidewalk requirements. Water, streets, a police station, city employee pay, and development processes. Much forethought has been invested in the strategic approach to each of the City Council's 5 priorities. But as with all such endeavors, there comes a time when the thinking must end and the action begins. Otherwise, we risk mimicking a famous French writer who once noted he had thought too much to stoop to action. That mindset would be as foreign to a West Texan as the Frenchman himself, and might be followed by this piece of colloquial counsel: it's time to fish or cut bait. The city of San Angelo would agree. The test of the past 3 years lies in the action ahead.